Welcome to the third tutorial of the Microsoft Word 2010 suite from the Tenderloin Technology Lab. Today we are going to go through some of the editing features in Word. This document that we're going to be working in can be downloaded from the website www.tenderlointechnologylab.org, and on the screen in the bubble there are two links. The first link will take you directly to the page to download the document. The second link will take you to a video tutorial of how to download the document from our website. We're going to start today with looking at what headers and footers are and how to insert them. Headers and footers allow you to place text in the margin at the top and the bottom of your document. And the margin is the white blank space here. Your header for the top of your document and your footer for the bottom of the document. Usually they're used to either insert page numbers into those margins, your name, the document title, the year, or anything that you want to insert into your document in those blank margins. What Word will do with your headers and footers is as you increase the size of your document and you keep adding pages, the program will automatically insert your header and your footer to the next page as you increase the size of your document. The first step to inserting our header and our footer is to go here to our Insert tab on our menu bar, and you'll see a header and footer section right here in your menu bar. We're going to start with the header, which is placed at the top of each page. We click on where it says header, and it gives you different built-in settings for your header. The first option is your blank option, where you can type any sort of thing that you want. And as you scroll down, there are different defaults. So we have ones where you can type the document title, we have ones where you can type the document title and author name, and so on and so forth. Today we're just going to stick with a blank header, so we scroll to the one we want, we single click, and you'll notice it now inserts a header on the top of your page. The main body of the text is faded out to distinguish whether you're working in your header and your footer or the body of your page. But as you print the page, they will all be in one font color and the body of the article will not be faded out. So to start typing into my header and my footer, I can either hit my backspace or I start typing, and I can type in whatever I want to in my header and my footer. Now to insert my footer, I can either go to my Insert tab again, or under my Design tab here, there's a Go to Footer option. We're going to use the Insert option, just like we did with the footer. We go up here to where it says Insert. Again, we go down to Header and Footer, and now I'm going to click on my footer. I can click on my footer, and again it gives me different options. And usually, for our footer, it will give me an option for page numbers. So once again, I scroll to the option that I want. I'm going to choose my conservative, and I click on my conservative. It scrolls down to the bottom of the page and inserts that footer into the bottom of my page. Now if I want to go back to working in the body of my document, I can do it two ways. I can either go up here to my Design tab and close the header and the footer, or I'm going to go back to where my footer is. I can, instead of hitting my close header and footer, I can just double click into the body of my document and it switches back to the body of my document. When I'm working in the body of my document, again, my header and my footer both become faded, just to make it easier to distinguish whether you're working in your header and your footer or your body of your document. You'll also notice if I go back up to my Insert tab, under my header and my footer section, there's even a page number section if you just want to insert a page number. And you can select whether you want to insert at the top of the page, the bottom of the page, or in one of the margins. So you can also do it that way. The next thing I'm going to go through is my spelling and my grammar check on my Word program. Word, as you're typing through, if it's set on the English default, will automatically check for grammar and spelling errors. And you'll notice in my document we have some words with either a red line or a green line below them. Red lines point out spelling errors, and green lines point out either grammar errors or formatting errors. So to change my errors, what I do is I scroll down. I'm going to start with the first paragraph. I scroll over to the word that has the line underneath it, and I right-click on that word. And a little menu bar pops up. At the top of that menu bar are different suggestions of what word you meant. You go to the right spelled word, and you left-click on that word, and it will replace the correctly spelled word in that place. Now you'll notice for this particular error, that red line changed to a green line underneath the word explanations. That is because, if you notice between explanations and for, there are 2 spaces instead of 1, which is a grammar/formatting error. So it works the same way as a spelling error. I scroll over where the green line or the red line appears. I right-click on the word under which that appears. Again, my menu bar comes up with my suggestions, and I left-click on the correct spelling or grammar correction. So I can go through and click. I'm going to do the same thing with the word Brian. I meant brain, so I right-click on there, and I scroll up, and I left-click on the right word. I can go through and do this manually, but if you have a longer Word document, this can take a while. So my suggestion would just to do a spelling and grammar check. So my first step to doing my spelling and grammar check is I scroll up to the top of my document, and I make sure my cursor is blinking at the very beginning of my document, so Word knows to check for spelling and grammar from the beginning of the document to the end of the document. So I've clicked, my cursor is blinking at the beginning of my document, and then I go up here to my Review tab. I click on my Review tab, and the first option is a spelling and grammar check. I click on that, and it starts my spelling and my grammar check. This window pops up. The first box will have either the word that is misspelled in red or the grammar error that is in green. It then will have suggestions in my suggestion box, and then I will have options here on the right-hand side. Now, just a word of warning. You'll notice here for my first grammar error that came up, it underlined the word really. Now, in this particular instance, it is grammatically incorrect. It does not have a subject or a verb, but for this article, it's used correctly. So, do be aware that the spelling and grammar check isn't always correct in what you are meaning in your Word document. So for this particular one, I'm going to click Ignore Once because I really do mean it as it is. So I click Ignore Once, and it automatically goes to my next spelling or grammar error. Again, my next one is the word brain. I've misspelt it in the word, in the sentence, so it's highlighted in red. It then gives me suggestions. I click on the right suggestion I want, and I can either choose change or change all. Generally, if I've misspelled the word several times in my document and the change all option comes up, I will select the change all so that I don't have to go through and change each individual one. So I click on change all, and it will change all of the ones that the times where brain is misspelled. The next one, and is misspelled, I click on the right suggestion, I click change all. And I can then go through and do my entire spelling check. And at the end of my spelling and grammar check, a little box will pop up that says the spelling and grammar check is complete. I hit OK, and I now have all of my spelling and my grammar checks. The next thing I'm going to go through is how to use your Find and Replace option. This allows you to look for a particular word that you have used in the document and replace it with another word. So my first step again is to make sure my cursor is blinking at the very beginning of my document. I then go up to my Home tab, and at the very end of my Home tab menu option there is a Replace button. I click on that, and it opens up my Find and Replace option. I then have a line to insert what I want to find, and I'm going to search for the word brain. So I type in what I'm trying to find, and then under Replace With, I click in that box and I type in what I want to replace it with. I type in mind, And then I can go here to replace, and I click on replace, and it will go through my entire document and highlight the times where brain appears, and it will replace that. So I can go through and hit replace for every single time, or I can hit my replace all button, and what that will do is it will find all the times where brain is used and replace it with the word mind. So I click on my replace all, and a little box pops up and says Word has completed its search of the document and has made however many replacements. In this case, it has made 5 replacements. I click OK, and I exit out of my Find and Replace option.